morning. Let's rise and sing our hearts out. Let's get down.
Now we're talking. Every little cell in my body is healthy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is healthy. Every little cell in my body is well. 'Cause I'm so happy. Every little cell in my body is healthy and well. I'm so happy. Every little cell in my body is healthy and well. Every little cell in my body is healthy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is healthy. Every little cell in my body is well. 'Cause I'm so happy. Every little cell in my body is healthy and well. Yeah, I'm so happy. Every little cell in my body is healthy and well. Every little cell in my body is healthy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is healthy. Every little cell in my body is well. 'Cause I'm so happy. Every little cell in my body is healthy and well. Woo, yeah!
You can tell we wanted to just keep going with that. I mean, that's a great mantra to be telling ourselves all day long, right? This month, we're talking about health. We're talking about the theme for this whole month is physical perfection. And that's the title of a chapter in the Science of Mind textbook. And not only that, there's another chapter right afterward called Physical Perfection Concluded. So there's 2 chapters on physical perfection, and we're going to focus in on that because these bodies that we have are great instruments to navigate this world, yes? And they are divine. They are divine. And so I am so happy to be here with you all this summer morning. Are you all enjoying the summer here in Redondo Beach in the South Bay? What a great place to be in the summer. It's so beautiful. Some of us are like, oh, it's a heat wave, but I used to live in Bakersfield. It'll be 105 degrees right now. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'm out there playing tennis, and they're like, oh, it's hot. I'm like, oh, I was playing at 105 degrees. This is a cool day. It's so good to be here with all of you. I'm Reverend Gregory Toole, and this is a place where we come in and we get recognized for who we truly are. So tell someone right now who they truly are. Tell someone, I see you. I see you. And you are awesome. And that is the truth. Yes. So we come in here knowing that we were born perfect, we are perfect now, and we continue to unfold into the greater and greater and greater expression of that perfection. How good it is to be amongst company of people who also know that truth or welcome that truth and want to live their highest and best life, right? Is that all of you? You want to live your highest and best life? That is me. It's so fun to be in our greater truth and just be on a journey where we're continuously expanding into the greater and greater, right? Like, does anyone have anything new this week, or is everything the same as it was last week? Who has something, even no matter how small, some new change that has come about in this last week since I saw you before? All right, yes, because we're always stepping into newness. Even if you don't think you did, your whole body, all your cells have been regenerating and establishing themselves anew all week anyway. So you're a new person right now from what you were last week. So thank you for being here. And I want to bring forth our beloved staff minister, Reverend Catherine McKinney.
Thank you all. Thank you so very much. And I want you to make sure your phones are silent. And while you're checking them, I want you to say, every little cell in my body is healthy. Off with the silent, off with the loud noise. Good morning again. So that is where we're beginning today with being healthy. And we have a spiritual retreat coming up in the fall that's just deepening all of that. It's called Be the Connection. Be the Connection. We will be doing programs that deepen our relationship to self, the big capital self, our community, and our spirit. So join us now. That is Columbus Day Indigenous Peoples Day weekend. That is October the 9th through the 12th. Now, we have a whole weekend of stuff. I managed to pull out the flyer that you can get for yourself outside, and it has the pricings for an individual, a single, for if you want to be by yourself in a room, and all of the different things, as well as children. So we have a whole lot of information out there, and look in your program. There may be even more information there. It's right in that part of the program. This is something that we haven't done in a while, and all of us are kind of looking forward to it, but it's really important that we know how many people are going, not just the day before, but more earlier than that. And so if you know you're going to go, like I knew I was going to go, I have to tell you, I signed up this morning. Okay, I just did it. But it is time to do that. So check out the flyer and do all of that. Now, we also have class certificates available. If you were in Reverend Gregory's Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life, you've successfully completed that, your certificates are ready at the counter. So pick those up, and congratulations. Tomorrow night, August the 3rd, the men's group is going to be meeting in the foyer, and they start their meeting at 7 p.m. Now, we have a Divine Dining coming up this particular month. It is August the 23rd, and it's at 5 p.m. This is the party of the year, truly. It is one of the really cool things. We're going to have great music, really great fun music. We always have very good food. But most of all, we just love sitting and talking with each other around this gorgeous pool and all of the beautiful furnishings in the house of why am I forgetting her name? Claudia Krikorian and Jim Hale. They have a beautiful place, and they are welcoming us on August the 23rd. So come on down. The sound bath, which is happening next Sunday, on August the 9th, is a world-renowned sound healer, Geraldine Glass. I think she's also featured right there in your program, if you can see all the details, because it's next Sunday. It's going from 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m., and it's called Sounding Your Way Home. It's a crystalline sound journey to awaken the frequency of love and restore inner harmony. It sounds wonderful. I plan to be there. Maybe you do too. So it'll be a wonderful Sunday afternoon. We are in the middle of, or beginning middle, of the drive for school supplies that we donate to Rainbow Services. Rainbow Services has been operating a long time, and in 2005 is when we started giving school supplies to Rainbow Services. And my daughter Maureen is the one who does this, and it's such a worthy cause, because this is going to children who may have been taken from their home the night before and have nothing. So we give them all kinds of school supplies, even backpacks, all kinds of things. And we also have extra supplies for all those students, younger children, who have already been there for a bit and live in the shelter. So there are a lot of things. Maureen will be available after services, and you can just ask her all kinds of questions. So as we move forward and look at the Goddess Empowerment Retreat, I'm going to share that flyer with you. It is happening on no. You get cheaper if you sign up today, but it is next August the 8th. That's where, on Saturday. And it's right here, but it's the Goddess Empowerment Retreat. It's an all-day feature, and so it really is a great opportunity for women to come together and connect. So if that sounds interesting to you, check out the flyer on your own. I think there's something also in your program you can tease yourself with. Now, our Labyrinth Walk is also this week. It's on Wednesday after the Wednesday service, and so you will have that walking meditation, which is really, if you've never done that, you just really ought to do that for yourself. All you have to do is toddle over there and go, especially if you're already at the Wednesday service. The Women's Circle is meeting next Sunday as well. It's regular second Sunday meeting. They meet in the teen room. And we're constantly, I think, but importantly, reminding us all to bring a can of food when you come for a service. It really is, there are people who depend on the help that you're giving them. You're really doing a lot of good stuff when you're able to do that. So we appreciate your can and when you're bringing it. And so do people who don't even know you. Now, what's coming up this Wednesday, not this coming, but Wednesday, August the 12th, is Ecstatic Dance. It's one of everyone's favorites. We have many people who are coming far and wide for that. That's at 7 p.m., and it's in Richelieu Hall. Our next author-speaker series will feature Jenny Lindhorst, and I know she's here. Why don't you just raise your hand right there? She is going to be featured on Friday, looking at 14th at 6:30 p.m. That's a Friday. Death Cafe, which is facilitated by end-of-life doula Alexis White, who is also here, I know. So you want to, wherever you are, there she is, over there. And so that is happening on Saturday, August the 15th at 2 p.m. in Richelieu Hall. So there's more information out on that table. There's flyers, you can get your own, you can check it out if any of this sounds even a little bit interesting. So we have new friends that we love to welcome in. If you are here for the very first time, if you are willing to raise your hand, we have these wonderful people who will bring you some great goodies in a bag. So if you, I'm scanning the room, not seeing a hand, hard to believe. All right, we've got one. Yeah. Very, very good. Thank you. Thank you for raising your hand. If for some reason you didn't want to do that, you can just check at the desk, and I know they will share with you one of these wonderful bags. If you need prayer today, we have prayer right here at this piano. It meets in a circle here, led by a practitioner, and you are very, very welcome to come. We also have practitioners that may have their stoles on, and they are available also for prayer or for appointments for prayer. So keep that in mind. The Wednesday inspirational service this coming Wednesday is the Reverend Dr. Moira Fox. And our singer will be Elise Carver. And so the most important thing we end with is that a big thank you to the volunteers. And many of you are sitting right there as volunteers. So let's hear it for these wonderful people who make such a great opportunity. Thank all of you for being here. So as we move on with our service.
I would invite you all to turn within for a moment and close your eyes. Take a deep breath.
Gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself, and I will hold myself like a newborn, a baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself, and I will hold myself like a newborn, baby child, and I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go, and I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself, and I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child.
I will be gentle with myself. I'll hold myself like a newborn baby child, recognizing the preciousness of my own being, how precious I am to life, how precious I am to myself, how precious I am to the divine. This morning, we don't shy away from the glorious nature that we are as divine expressions of the One. This morning, we recognize that we are unique, each of us, absolutely unique emanations of the one perfect, whole, complete life that is God. There is only one life. There is only one power, one presence, and there is nothing to oppose it. And so all of life is working together for good. And my life is an expression of that one, and each of us are divine expressions of that one. And so it's in this awareness that I bless our time here together today. I know it is so perfect, unlike any other day that there has ever been, like any other service there's ever been. There's a unique configuration of individuals here today, online, in person, all of us here collectively creating something, co-creating something that is so, so special. And so I know we are lifted up today. We are renewed today. We are restored today. Our eyes are opened further. We step further into the truth of our being. I know that all that we do here today is uplifting our entire planet. There is only one mind, there is only one life, so we're all connected and interconnected with every being everywhere. And so all that we are doing in uplifting love and uplifting truth, wholeness and harmony and peace and joy, all of that is resonating and expanding out into all of life. Somewhere in everyone's being, everywhere, there's some small place at least that is touched by what we do here today. I am so grateful for all the good, and I just release this, I let it be, and so it is. Amen.
Good morning. So several weeks ago, I spoke about a favorite word I had, which was serendipity, finding good fortune accidentally. But I have another favorite word, and that is synchronicity, or meaningful coincidence, which was a term coined by our famed psychologist, Carl Jung. These occurrences can help us feel like we're in step with the universe, and the key is how we interpret them. We can chalk them up to complete chance, or we can see them for what they are, which is a phenomena of grace. We have to be open to trust that there is meaning in our world and in our lives, and it appears to us when we accept that truth. How can these show up for us? One instance is a story about Abe Lincoln. He bought a barrel of odds and ends for 50 cents to help a traveler who was moving west, who didn't have room for it in his wagon. He stored it for months until one day he opened it and found Blackstone's Commentaries, an English book of law that he studied while he was a shopkeeper in Illinois. He was fascinated with it, and it helped to inspire him to go into law. So less monumental, but still interesting, our son had come over to work at our house because his house was becoming so hot in the afternoons. So he decided to drive down a different block, and he found that a neighbor had central air installed and had put an unwrapped air conditioner out on the sidewalk. Right, so he checked with them and they gladly offered it to him. So synchronicities can show up as timing or as writings, as words, as symbols, music, dreams, or even as people. What about animals? Writings in sacred texts can speak to us, as can animal sightings and behavior, or even as people, especially those who guide us and are free of their own ego attachment in it. One way we can recognize these synchronicities is by looking back at our lives and considering how there were some that led us to the choices we made. And of those that seemed negative at the time, we can search for a way they may have enhanced our lives instead. Next, we can consider our lives now. Are there any surprises? Is there room for any? Or are our lives too orderly to allow them? Perhaps we can choose to flow with life instead. So to attract more synchronicities, we need to choose not to dismiss these occurrences, but to recognize and engage with them by feeling them with hope, gratitude, and even awe. Having a ritual practice and a spiritual practice that connects us to Spirit daily helps us to be present to our thoughts and open to those gifts. The writer and professor Joseph Campbell said, when you follow your bliss, doors can open where there were no doors before. And by the way, saying yes to experiences we would normally refuse opens new worlds to us. So synchronicities can lead us to growth and also toward our destiny, which is always toward oneness. We become more compassionate as our spirituality deepens and can actually live in love. We can decide that for every grace we receive, we give something of ourselves in return. Remembering also that Ernest Holmes said, compassion is love in action. And so it is. Thank you.
Waves Choir, everybody. And this song is called I Am the Place Where God Shows Up. It's by Eddie Watkins Jr., and it will be featuring Jean-Louis Boudreau on guitar and vocal.
Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough health and power, live a life, grace and wholeness? Will I have enough things to do to take care of myself? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. We are the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. We are the place where God shows up.
Jean-Louis Boudreau, everyone.
Joyful Waves Choir. Under the direction of our own Elise Carver. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. Yes? Ah, what a beautiful song. How beautifully done. Thank you, Jean-Louis Boudreau, for your solo. This whole month, as I said earlier, we're talking about physical perfection. We're talking about that chapter in the Science of Mind textbook on physical perfection, that there is a divine, and today's topic, we're talking about your divine body, because there is a divine idea of your body that has never been diminished or sullied by anything in this experience of life, you know, and there's nothing in you that is defined by your genetics or any of that, although, well, let me read you a couple things about that, because I love some of the things from Bruce Lipton and Joe Dispenza. Joe Dispenza says that genes load the gun, environment pulls the trigger. And he also quotes Bruce Lipton a lot. Bruce Lipton said, genes create predispositions, not predeterminations. Genes create predispositions, not predeterminations. And so there's this field that Bruce Lipton gets into, epigenetics, which is how the genes are expressed. Like the genes are there, but then what are we doing with them and how are they expressed? And Joe Dispenza also says your personality creates your personal reality. Your personality creates your personality creates your personal reality. And he talks about how our thinking starts to create feeling, right? If we are continuously thinking a certain way, then we start to feel that way, right? If we're continuously thinking about how terrible life is and how life is going to hell in a handbasket and all of that, we start to feel that way, right? We start to walk that way. Have you ever seen someone talking like that life is going to hell in a handbasket, just walking around like this, like, woo, life is going to hell in a handbasket, you know? No, usually that person's like the Eeyore. Everyone know Eeyore? Remember Eeyore? There was a line where Eeyore said, "Some have it, some don't." I don't. You know, usually when the person's like talking about like the downside of life all the time, they start to be hunched over themselves, right? And they start to walk a little slower and hunched, and they start to walk, you know. And then that person who's always thinking life is good, right? With someone I knew used to say, "How are you doing?" He'd say, "I'm doing great, but I'm going to get better." No, he'd say, "I'm doing fabulous, but I'm going to get better." Right? That starts to create an energy. That starts to create, that's our personality, and that starts to create our personal reality. How are we showing up in this life? How are we being in this life? What is the vibration that we are in? My grandmother, when she was in her 80s, she told me, she said, about our relatives who were in their 60s and who she was taking care of. She was in her 80s, but she was taking care of our relatives that were in their 60s. And she said to me one day, she said, there was no one else around, but just for effect, she whispered, she said, "I have to take care of them because they think they're old." You know, it's how we think about life. I've heard people who are turning 40 and they go, "Oh yeah, I'm getting old now. Oh, you know," and I'm like, don't start there. That is not going to be a good pattern for you. Thomas Troward, who was a judge and a very linear thinker and very influential on our founder, Ernest Holmes, talked about a spiritual prototype, kind of like a blueprint. And he talked about in healing that we create a prototype in our mind. We create a prototype mentally and spiritually and in our being, so we start to see our body as perfect. We start to know that our body is perfect. And that aligns with the greater truth of who we are anyway, because God is all there is, and God is infinite power, infinite intelligence, and our bodies were made from infinite power and infinite intelligence. So therefore, this one power and presence knew how to make your body, knew how to make my body, and it didn't forget. Like it didn't forget, like that idea it had to create our bodies perfectly, it didn't forget that idea. That idea is still there. So we get to remember that. There's even a scripture in 1 Corinthians 14:5, I believe. I'm pretty sure. That talks about we have don't fault me for going to my notes, because I would rather be accurate here. 15:44. 1 Corinthians 15:44. There is a natural body, and then there is a spiritual body. There's a natural body and there's a spiritual body. So there's a spiritual idea of your body. And so we can remember that spiritual idea. When the practitioner says, when the ministers say, when others who practice this teaching say you are whole, perfect, and complete, we're talking about that spiritual idea, that divine idea of your body that is not at all affected by the situations and circumstances of life. And so I feel we are called to remember who we are. We are called when something's going on in the body to remember that there's an infinite intelligence at work. There's an infinite power at work. Then there's those things genetically that run in our family, right? Anyone have conditions, certain physical conditions that run in your family? Someone once said that if it runs in your family, it's time for it to run out. If it runs in your family, then it is time for it to run out. Because the buck has to stop somewhere. The buck has to stop somewhere, and why not with you and why not with me? I have certain conditions that have been in my family, namely one of them high blood pressure, right? And so I've gone all this years in my life naturally and not having that condition, and it's kind of like wanting to show up a little bit right now. And so I get to, don't say, uh-oh, say, no, it's not the truth. Say, tain't so, tain't so. We don't go to, this is not the practice. By the way, just for clarity, the practice of science of mind isn't when the condition is presented, uh-oh. That's not the science of mind. Just for clarity. The science of mind says, tain't so. Tain't so, tain't so. That there is a power and a presence and an intelligence that made your body, and it knows nothing of dis-ease. It knows nothing of dis-ease. It only knows ease. It only knows harmony. It only knows perfection. And so I just get to work with that and dance with that and say, like, yes, I've watched all my elders and relatives go through and get on the medication and do all of that, you know, and then the doctors will all tell me, well, you got to do that too. And I go, maybe, you know, because in our teaching we say that the pill was also made by this infinite intelligence, the doctors, the scientists, all of them, so we don't poo-poo the pill. And yet Ernest Holmes said, and I want to get it exactly right, he said, we realize that since our understanding is not yet complete, it is legitimate to use all methods which will help troubled humanity. But we do, here's the important part I like, what we do look forward to the day when truth alone will answer every need. So we are growing into that space. We are growing into that space where we recognize, and Ernest Holmes talked about that there's a mental and spiritual component to everything. So when we're doing our healing, you know, sure, let's consult with all the medical professionals, and if a pill is needed, take a pill, whatever we need to do, but don't let that be the only thing, and don't let that be the defining truth, because there's a greater truth. And I've seen this so many times in my life, which is why up until now, you know, I have not had to take a pill, you know, except for twice in my life I did take antibiotics for an infection, and it worked like a charm, and it's like, boom. And another time I had some psoriasis, it just wouldn't go away with all the herbs and all of my spiritual mind treatment and all that, and it wouldn't go away. So the answer to the spiritual mind treatment was a steroid cream that wiped it out in 3 days. You know, so we don't want to be like that person on the roof when the flood comes, right? And the boat comes and go, oh, no, God's going to save me, you know. Helicopter comes, no, God's going to save me. You know the story, and get to heaven. God, why didn't you save me? I've been your most loyal servant. I sent you a boat, a helicopter. So we don't want to be foolish if there's answers there for us. But however, what I do want us to know, because our New Thought teaching, New Thought being the greater umbrella for the teaching of science of mind and unity and several others, really got founded on and started on the basis of physical healing of things that were thought at the time to be incurable. And so they would come, Phineas Parkhurst Quimby was a man in the 1800s who began to make that connection real clear between mind, body, and spirit, and people would come to him for healing from things that the doctor said were incurable. And they would come and they would get healings, right? And he would do his mental work and his spiritual work, and he would see that there's a perfect divine idea. And he didn't see his work as miracles. He didn't see what he was doing as performing miracles. What he saw himself doing is aligning people with the greater truth of their being, right? Aligning people with the harmony, the joy, the peace that is there. So we say, like we sung in that first song we did today in the opening song, every little cell in my body is healthy and well, right? That's a great chant, right? If we are experiencing something in the body, just walk around all day. Every little cell in my body is healthy and well. There's a famous treatment in the Science of Mind textbook from Ernest Holmes where he says there's perfect circulation, perfect assimilation, and perfect elimination. Right? And so we start to see that our body is working perfectly. We start to see that, and it's a complement to it complements anything that how we're working with the medical professionals and other health professionals, right? It's not necessarily opposed to that. We use all of that to know a greater truth. But just also, I think it's important to realize that the medical professionals may not recognize any of the things that you're doing. Like when I go in and say, like, oh, I've been doing this great breath work, and they go, yeah, great. And I meditate every day. Oh, yeah, okay, great. One doctor actually said to me, we can't talk about that. And I was like, what? We can't talk about it? Can't put that on the chart? Meditates every day. They do have things like he's vegan, believes that. Now I wonder, when I read that, I go, yes, that's all true. I wonder how when they're reading it up behind the scenes, like, oh God, this guy, here's this guy. But the thing is, whenever I have had a physical condition, and sometimes physical conditions can scare us a little bit, whenever I have had a physical condition, ultimately, it's brought me out on the other end. At first, it feels a little bit scary because it's like, oh, wow, there's this condition and blah, blah, blah. But then on the other end, when I do the work, I do the inner work, the inner knowing of peace and harmony and wholeness and an infinite intelligence working through my body, and every cell my whole body is governed by this infinite intelligence and power, the one power that there is. And I do that work, and then I really look at what is this calling me to in my body? What is this awakening me to, this condition? Because a condition always has something behind it, right? And underneath of it that is creating it. So what is that? Louise Hay has a great book, You Can Heal Your Life, and it's not like a Bible, it's not like a prescription, but it gives some clues and hints as to where to look when you have a particular condition. Right? Like if you have a problem with your legs, it might talk about moving forward, being symbolic of moving forward. Is there some area in your life where you're resisting moving forward? And one time I did have something with my leg that was really strange, and there was a particular thing really big that I was taking on, and I did have a lot of fear about moving forward. And when I began to have that shift, I noticed that the healing, and it was one of the cases where I took antibiotics. But I realized that the shifting of consciousness accelerated even what the antibiotics were doing. So we start to recognize the mental, spiritual, emotional component to disease, which science is more and more recognizing that, right? Like Bruce Lipton is a cell biologist. He's not just a spiritual being. He's a cell biologist studying all of this and saying like, oh, wow, there's something called epigenetics, which is what you do with the genetics, which is how do you align your thinking, how do you align your feeling. And Joe Dispenza, I don't know if I said this already or not, so I'm going to say it again if I did. But Joe Dispenza talks about how your thinking becomes your feeling, and your feeling becomes your thinking, and then that becomes your personality ultimately, right? Because each of them reinforce each other such that after a while, it just becomes our natural state of being. We start thinking over and over a certain way, and then that causes us to feel a certain way. And then our feelings, as we feel that way and feel that way and feel that way, it actually starts to influence our thinking. Right? Like if we feel lousy all the time, we start to have a thought about that, right? And if we think lousy all the time, we start to have a feeling about that. And they start to play with each other. And then that becomes our personality. And that becomes our personal reality until we interrupt that cycle. Now Joe Dispenza has one of the best book titles ever, right? What's it called? Break the Habit of Being Yourself. That's a great title, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, which is not the habit of being your true self, but the habit of being the self that you have been up until now, where we start to have a pattern of thinking and feeling and thinking and feeling and thinking and feeling that starts to be our personal reality, but it's not the reality with a capital R. Yes? Amen? Just because, it's like one of my favorite bumper stickers that a friend used to have said, don't believe everything you think. Don't believe everything you think. Just because we have thought it for a long time, and therefore by thinking it for a long time, made it real in our experience, and therefore we have the evidence that it is real, well, you can change that evidence by changing how you think and what your beliefs are. So we're really here to be empowered with our bodies and to recognize that's the thing that in the end, that I was saying, in the end, whenever I've had these conditions, and maybe it scares me at first, but then in the end, I've always ended up feeling way more empowered because I realize, wow, as I start to shift my interior with the way I'm thinking, the vibration I'm living in, how I'm looking at life. When I look at the high blood pressure that is run in the family, right? And I start to look at what's the symbolism of that and what is the conditions that create that, right? Which is like not being in the flow and trying to be in too much control and all these things. I go, that starts to sound like my family. Don't tell any of them now. This isn't being recorded, is it? And so we get to be the one who starts to say, I'm going to shift that. It stops here. It stops here. It has to stop somewhere. Why not with us? Right? Where we do intergenerational healing. We start to be the healing presence for our entire family. We start to shift how things are, right? On a funny note that kind of almost has nothing to do with this, but it did just pop in, which is when I came into Center for Spiritual Living, I began hugging. Before that, I was never a hugger. I would just shake people's hands. I was in the business world. We'd shake each other's hands very formally. And I came into Science of Mind, and everyone was hugging, you know? And it took an adjustment at first. You know, like, what is all this hugging about? Then when the women were hugging, I was like, wow, this is good. But then some men started hugging me. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? And then I realized, oh, it's just about love. Oh, okay. But I went home, you know, and I had gotten in such this habit now of this is my way of being. I hug now. Everywhere I hug now. Well, my family, we didn't grow up hugging. So I go home without even thinking about it. I see my brother and I say, hey! And he literally almost hyperventilated. He literally went, But now we hug. Now we all hug in my family, right? So it begins with us. We start to make a shift. We start to be different, and everything in our experience starts to change, including our bodies, right? If we start to live in harmony, we start to be in our joy, we start to cultivate peace in our being, we start to cultivate more love in our being, and we do our forgiveness work, right? We let go of all the anger and resentment we're holding against anyone and everyone, because boy, will that create some dis-ease in our bodies. We start to shift. And our bodies start to shift. And we look at the poetic nature of our bodies. That the body, everything in the body that shows up in the body is representing something. And so we start to look at that. Like I used to say once a year, long ago, before coming into the teaching, I used to say once a year I get a cold, like right around the fall I get a cold. And sure enough, every year around the fall I get a cold, right? And then I looked it up in Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life, and she said, too much going on. Like not too much going on out there, but too much going on, right? Where you're spinning, right? And the fall was like the beginning of going back to school and going back to this and starting this over. The moment I read that, I broke that whole cycle that I have to get a cold every year. Now it's a very rare thing, and even if it shows up, it doesn't stay. So we start to recognize the poetic nature of how our thoughts and our feelings and our state of being interact to create our physical well-being or not well-being. And we start to shift from that point, we start to work it from that point and have much more dominion in our lives, even for serious things like Anita Morjani when she gave her talk here, and she was talking about how fear and not loving herself were the cause of that serious condition called cancer that nearly took her out. Right? Where her organs were literally shutting down and they said, okay, she's about to be gone. But then she had that inner healing that said, I've been living my whole life in fear of being myself and not loving myself. And if I stop doing that, I'm going to be healed. So that when she came back, you know, from near death, and it was like, okay, I'm going to be well. I'm good. And they're like, oh no, you're not out of the woods yet. And she said, no, I'm good. Because she had that inner shift. And something like, 5 days later or something like that, she was at a party from like literally being in the ER with her organs shutting, or being in the ICU with her organs shutting down, and they're saying she's about to be gone. And then 5 days later, she's out at a party. That's the power of that mental, emotional, spiritual connection when we align our vibration and our thoughts and our being with our true nature. It's so powerful. We have dominion over our health. We don't have to be afraid of our body. Sometimes the way that when we go to the doctor, and doctors are great, by the way, they're amazing, right? Like they give us such good information. But sometimes it's like they make us afraid of our bodies. right? They start to tell us all these things, and no, you can't heal that yourself, and no, you can't, only we have the answer, and you have to do exactly as we say. Instead, we don't have to be afraid. We can listen and get all the information from every source, but we can be empowered with our bodies. So, which do you choose? All right, and so it is. God bless you. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're going to hear from our Joyful Waves choir again. They're going to send those joyful waves through us, and our health is just going to peak.
We're welcoming back the Joyful Waves Choir, and this song is called I've Got the Power by Karen Drucker. We'll feature Carla Dominguez, Karina DeSmet, and Lisa Rodriguez on vocals.
Wasting my time thinking that someone else is gonna do it all for me. I got to get up, get it, just get started. Take one step towards my reality. I'll define my direction with a clear-cut intention. Declare what will be, then what should come to me. 'Cause I got the power to make all my dreams come true. I got the power, there's nothing I can't do. I got the power to be anything I want. I got the power inside of me. I got the power inside of me. There are days when I don't feel good, days that I don't even want to try. But when I stop, look and listen and surrender, I hear a voice of truth that I cannot deny. It says, you know you can do it, just get down to it. Have faith in yourself and the will to see it through. 'Cause I got the power to make all my dreams come true. I got the power, there's nothing I can't do. I got the power to be anything I want. I got the power inside of me. I got the power inside of me. There are days when I feel so frightened, and I think that I just can't go on. I've got to look deep inside, 'cause that's where I'll find the power, the power, the power inside of me. Yeah!
I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power.
Join me. I've got the power
The Joyful Waves Choir, everyone. Thank you so much.
I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. Yes, the New Wave, Joyful Waves Choir. We had Katrina De Smed, we had Carla Dominguez, we had Lisa Rodriguez, all awesome. All under the direction of Elise Carver, isn't she awesome? Yes, yes, yes. Thank you to our wonderful ushers. We got Bob, we got Vicky, Mary Lou, Linda. Yay, thank you. Thank you to our choir. I love how it's growing and stepping up. It's good stuff. And you all are welcome to join the choir. Lisa's always welcoming new people into the choir if you want to be part of all that fun. So thank you once again for the ways that you support this community financially. I really want to greet I don't know if I even greeted the people online today. I'm all over the place. I was calling the meditation, I was calling it the Wednesday meditation. I think it's my fancy. I've never had a pair of pants this color before, you know. I went and bought these. I don't know if they can quite see that out there, but they're like sort of a cranberry kind of color. I'm like, oh, wow. See, it's like my whole personality is changing here for the better. I'm expanding my color scheme. But thank you so much for all the ways that you give. Welcome to all of you online. Welcome to all of you in person. And thanks for the way everyone shows up in this community. We have many ways to give. You can text to give 424-37933, which means you just text to that number and then it prompts you with all the rest of it. Or you can use your camera to go scan the QR code and it'll take you right to the website. Or you can just go directly to the website at redondocsl.org/donate. Thank you so much. Let's do our affirmation together around our giving, conscious giving, holding our gifts in our hand, our hands to our heart perhaps, and let us say this together. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. And so it is. Yes.
Grateful for the morning, grateful for the sunlight on my face, grateful for the feeling. I'm grateful for the knowing, grateful for the love that's in this place, grateful for believing that God is all there is, that God is all there is. Grateful for the morning, grateful for the sunlight on my face, grateful for the feeling. I'm grateful for the knowing, grateful for the love that's in this place, grateful for believing that God is all there is, that God is all there is, God is all there is.
Thank you, Elise and John Louis. All right. Well, I love hearing you all pray because your words are so powerful when you speak your words. So I'm going to invite you to stand right now and let's pray. I'm going to give you some words and you can repeat after me if that's comfortable. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life right now. As such, as a powerful divine expression of the one, I, Gregory, speak my word. It is a word of power unto a law. I declare right now, I am whole, perfect, and complete. Every cell in my body is in a vibration of harmony and peace and joy and love. And so I am in the flow of life. In this flow of life, my body is in the flow. Any area that seems like a blockage is now dissolved. And now there is flow. Flow of life. Flow of vibrant life. Vitality is mine. I am living a beautiful life, and my body outpictures that. Right now, I feel so much energy. This vibration of love, this vibration of joy, this vibration of harmony is lifting me up. I've got so much energy. My body is healthy. My body is well. I am just so grateful. So grateful. Thank you, God. I release this word to an immutable law, the immutable law that only knows to say yes. Therefore, I know it is done. I let it be. And so it is. Yes. All right. Our thoughts become our feelings, so we can't speak a powerful word like that without something starting to be a new vibration in our being. So I want to see all of you walking out of here with new pep in your step. Yes? All right. Let's sing the peace song. Let's join hands and let's sing the peace song. Ministers and practitioners are coming up here.
Keep it up. Don't stop.
Massage is up here.
Let